Read out of Zechariah.
Okay.
Chapter 11, verse 12 and 13.
And I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was prized at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord.
Now this was a prophecy, and then hundreds of years later, Judas sells Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Judas takes the money back, throws it down, and you know what they do with it? They buy potter's field. He prophesied right here, cast it down to the potter's house. They cast the money down, they bought a potter's field. Matthew 26:14. Then one of the 12, called Judas, went unto the chief priest and said unto them, what will you give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they converted with him for 30 pieces of silver. From that time he sought opportunity to betray him. I've pondered and I've searched and I've wondered for years, why would it 26 pieces of silver, 32 pieces of silver, or 40 pieces of silver? Why wasn't it 29 pieces of silver? I look for this. Listen to this, Jesse. This. Exodus 21:32. If an ox shall push a manservant or maidservant, and you look up that word push, it means to gore, to kill, or to destroy. Exodus 21:32. If an ox shall push a manservant and maidservant, so that meant this person's a slave. He's owned by somebody. So the owner's putting a value on his slave. We were servants of sin before Jesus bought us.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner put a price. He shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver. So we were a servant, and to get us free costed 30 pieces of silver. Is that not good? That's the price. That's the price he valued us at. And read us just a little bit. Start Matthew 27:1. We won't read it all.
27:1.
Yeah.
And when the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders to the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders.
Just keep reading.
Saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasure, because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and brought them with them in the potter's field to bury strangers in.
Exactly what Zechariah said. So I've looked for this for years. And I preached on this Sunday night. And wherefore that blood was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that was spoken of by the prophet. So now listen to this. For years I've done these studies. What is a potter's field? It has two meanings, two almost opposite meanings, but it also can mean the same thing. One meaning, it is a piece of land, probably about an acre. It's a piece of land where this special clay was found on. So you've got clay out. You're a potter maker. That's your trade. There's 10 potter makers in town. It's all going together and buy this piece of land. But not only you, your daddy did it. Your grandpa did it. Your great-grandpa did it. So this piece of land has been dug into pottery for the last 200 years. There's ruts in it. There's ditches in it 70 feet deep. They've been digging this clay out. This piece of land is of no value. It's worthless. It's of no value. So they got strangers, and they got people that weren't Jews. Where we going to bury him? Where are we going to bury the beggar at? Where are we going to bury him? We're not going to bury him up in our nice cemeteries, our nice graveyards. They're going to take him out to the potter's field, to a piece of ground that's useless, and they're going to bury him. The second definition of potters, say there's 20 potter makers in town. You make 10 vessels a day. 2 of them cracks. Now when something cracks, they can grind it. They couldn't grind stuff up back then. If 2 a day cracked, that's 10 a week. 10 a week is 500. Let's see, 10 times 50, 500 a year. In 10 years, then in 20 years, you got 20 guys doing this. I counted up. In not long, you'll have 96,000 pieces of pottery if you got 20 makers in just 10, 20 years. They bust them up a little bit. They take them out there and throw them in the potter's field. And they're just there. And everybody just sees garbage. They took the 30 pieces of silver they bought to potter's field. The Bible said, listen to this, the Bible said that Jesus found a treasure in the field. He found what field was it? It was a potter's field. He found a treasure in the field. And when he did, he bought the field to get the treasure. So I was that treasure in those old broken potters. Everybody looked at me and said, Anthony Wynn won't ever. My school teacher said, you uncles are drunks, you grandpa's a bootlegger, said, you ain't never gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna be a preacher like your daddy. You ain't gonna amount to nothing. I was in the potter's field. And now here's what I like. Jesus not only bought the treasure, he bought the field. He bought all my stuff. He paid for it all. Is that not good? He bought. Now, here's how we got to talk a lot about on the night we're praying for addiction. He found the treasure and he hid it till he bought the field, and then he went and got it. So we got to pray, God, hide this treasure from a heart attack, from an overdose, from an aneurysm, from a car wreck. God, hide this treasure. Hide your loved ones, God. God, hide our loved ones. Hide our families. They're in the field. They're in the potter's field. Do you remember what? David said? Where was it? David said, "He's picked me up out of the miry clay. He's picked my feet up out of the miry clay, set my feet up on a rock, established my goings." The potter's field.